On to our second last video. We are now going over our worked examples. So again, we need to be aware of what our features of our circle are. So I have here my letter D, which is the area, which is created by the letter E. So this little area, because it's kind of a chunk, it's actually called a segment. If I have my segment can be made by the outside of the circle and a chord. So a chord makes up an area of a segment or a chunk. Okay, so we have our math words, but we want to make sure that we remember what they are. Next one we have is an area again, and it is actually a sector. So think about it. Looks a little bit like a pizza slice. I'm going to put some pepperoni on my pizza slice. Okay, and again, that one is a sector. We then have this one, which is going at lovely little right angle to our circle. It's touching one small little point, so we know it's a tangent. Next one we want to find the circumference of this circle using pi in our calculator to 1 decimal point. So let's keep track of all those things that we need to worry about. So we're finding our circumference. We're using pi in our calculator. And we need to make sure that it is in our answer to 1 decimal place. So let's have a look what that will look like. So if I have, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute in. So I've got 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by my radius, which in this case, let's just highlight that one. So my radius in this case is actually, let's do a different color, is actually 5. So let's put that one in. So now I can put these two guys together. So 2 multiplied by 5 gives me 10 and pi. What you will do is in your actual calculator, what you will have is the following. You will have a symbol that looks like your pi. So I'm going to do a very little shorthand, but essentially I will end up with 31.46 because it's actually 459. So we need to have this to 2 decimal places, and I know that I have actually done it, so I'm going to write a little reminder to myself. 2dp. Oh, apologies, I made a mistake. It's supposed to be to 1 decimal place. So if it's to 1 decimal place, we actually only end up with 31.4. Okay, next question. Let's go. C. Next one we're doing is we are finding, again, let's keep track of what we're after. We are finding the circumference of a circle, and we have a specific value we're using for pi, and we have to have it to 2 decimal places. And we have been given our diameter. Okay, so you can do this one of 2 ways. First thing you can do is you could halve your diameter. So you could halve this to get your radius, which is what I'm going to show you first. Or if you're okay using this formula, you just plug it straight in. But I'm going to do this method because that's the one we're going with. So let's put in our values. So I have circumference equals 2 multiplied by 22 over 7 multiplied by r. We need to find our r first. So let's do that. We have our diameter of 22. Therefore, my radius is its diameter divided by 2, which gives me 11. So now I can substitute 11 into this. So let's do that. So I've got my circumference. Apologies. Circumference equals 2 multiplied by 22 on 7 multiplied by 11. Once I put all of this into a calculator, I will also get my answer, and I need to make sure that I do it to 2 decimal places. So make sure again that you have it to 2 decimal places. So you have your number and then you have only 2 numbers after it. I'll pop that one in a little bit later. Don't have my calculator on me. Next one, a mental strategy. So we need to think a little bit with this one too, which is great. And we're using pi equals 3, and we are finding the radius of a circle given that its circumference is 21. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw a circle. So let's do that first. Next thing, I'm going to add to my drawing the fact that I know my radius is going to go from the middle to the side, but I don't know what it actually is at the moment. I also know that pi is 3 in this particular case, and I know that my circumference, so my circumference is 21 centimeters. Just very quickly, I didn't do this. Bad Mr. Donnelly. Make sure that you include your units for each of these, okay? Really make sure that you include the units for all of these. So we had meters, then centimeters, and this one will be in centimeters in the end too. Apologies for that. Okay, now we can use our formula and we can substitute in. So I've got my circumference equals 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by r, but we've been told our circumference is actually 21. So let's write in our 21 and see if we can answer from there. So 21 equals 6 multiplied by r. So if I've got 6 multiplied by r, I want to find out how many times 6 goes into 21. It's a bit of a weird number, but what you will do on your calculator is you'll do 21 divided by 6 will give you your value for r. Okay, and then if you wanted to, you can chuck that one into the calculator too. Now you're on to questions. Good luck.